Boom, boom.
It's way better. It's got to be. I can see it through there, so it's got to be better than. Hey, can you scoot your? Now yours is in the way.
Oh yeah.
You guys both are trying to sabotage the beautiful guy.
Man. It's a rough angle. That red top, the very top left knob. You turn it up just a little bit for him.
Yeah, because last week couldn't even hear me.
That was by design.
Which one is mine? I'm not even if I'm right.
Here's how it goes. Him, 1, 2. That's you. And that's
Look at that. See? Now that's out of your way.
Okay, so now if I talk,
Holy shit, that's loud.
it is. It's not. Well, it wasn't.
Just use your ears. Don't look at the lights. Just
Well-
use your ears and listen to it. It's too loud.
I would.
How does it sound?
Okay, so that's
How now, brown cow?
how now, brown cow.
Unique New York. Although, am I talking into the top of this too much?
You got to be right in the front of it. There you go. Get all up in it.
So I guess see. So this isn't bad, right?
Nope.
No, that's fine.
I think I need to be louder.
Mm-mm.
You have the controls.
Remember that.
Good morning. Ira's got the button.
Remember who's in control. Remember who runs this.
I even
thing.
moved this. So we
Ira.
can, now this little dongle's in your way. But other than that, look.
No,
he put
it's
this,
not.
Look, he put this in his own way.
Did I put it in my own? Well, you moved it after the fact.
Turn your body.
We realized.
Hello, YouTube.
Turn your head.
Can you see
That
my
anybody on
beautiful
YouTube
face now?
last week could not see Ira's face, and that was
That-
bothering me.
That ruins the experience for everyone.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, as a
to see his face.
sociopath, that really pissed me off.
We only have one camera. It's a low budget production. It happens.
Yeah,
So good morning. What's going on?
You know,
Ira ran here
Ira did run
and
here.
still beat you, and you were in a car.
I know. I got up with
How
so
did
much
that
time too, and I was making myself coffee, and that's the one thing that
Yeah.
totally changed.
Oh yeah.
And it takes 15 minutes for a pot of coffee to brew. Now I know.
Now
I've never
I know.
actually timed it out and figured out exactly how long something like that takes, but that's exactly how late I
You're
was.
so
So
irresponsible.
you woke
How-
up, and then when it was time to leave, you started making coffee.
Yeah, I pretty much. I started making the coffee, and I looked at my clock, and I was like, "Well, this isn't gonna fucking work."
Yeah, so run out the door.
Yeah.
You pay the price.
I needed the coffee.
You know they do have
Yeah.
those little like pre-made alarms on them just to start them, but I don't really use it either.
I did for a while. I did for several months. I would put my coffee in there the night before and everything, and get it all ready, and then I would wake up in the morning to the smell of
Yeah,
coffee.
like
and
a
it was
Folgers
fucking
commercial, but with good
glorious.
coffee.
Yeah. But I got out of that habit.
But I just stopped doing that. I stopped being
Drop that habit.
responsible.
I quit smoking, and Aaron quit making coffee for himself in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah. There's a
Those-
lot about my morning
those are
routine
the
that's
same.
changed. I
Same.
don't do a lot of things. I
It's
used
all
to do.
race cars, man. Your whole
Yeah.
life is. I saw a picture the other day. You looked like you had pit row in your garage,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I just know that's a race term. So I mean, a pit row. Is a thing.
I don't know. It's pretty close. That works.
But
Yeah, I really need.
Yeah, like
most people that do this have
12
property and a shop and all kinds of room and everything, and we live in the suburbs. It's stupid.
like 12 teen cars in there.
Yeah, it's so funny whenever I have to spend money on any of that, Sarah is always like, "Oh my God, you're turning into your brother. This
Yeah.
is the one thing I was worried about." And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." That's her
Can't you just use the,
barometer of gone too far.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
do
it's
not
Aaron, yeah.
get
if
to
Aaron
level.
does it,
No, don't get to Aaron levels of this, or it's
Yeah.
does
all-
she not understand that you're twins?
She does not understand that.
There's still,
She doesn't matter how many times I
it's
tell
not
her.
that you're the same person,
she'll
but there are
never-
some similarities.
She'll never
Mhm.
understand. I just don't think that most people understand this weird closeness between two people that were in the same womb together. It's just different.
Mhm.
Don't try to understand it.
Does she know that if you had to play fuck, marry, kill, you'd marry him this time?
Yeah, and that's really hard on her.
As long as she knows,
She
right?
can't-
Just doesn't understand.
She can't accept it.
I was just mentioning it. I was listening to Robert Sapolsky's book Behave.
Yeah.
And he tells that, he's got a bunch of genetic jokes and stuff, right? Because what is he, a an evolutionary biologist, I think.
I believe so.
Anyway, he tells that old
I'm not
joke
sure
that
who
I
you're
would.
talking about.
He's the guy that's on.
He's a Stanford
He's a Stanford
professor.
professor, yeah, and a lot of his
That doesn't help. I
lectures you
didn't go
can
to
find.
Stanford.
Well, you can find his lectures on YouTube,
Okay.
and he's as Stanford professors go. I mean, I don't know very many of them, but he seems like he's pretty
Let's rank 'em.
entertaining.
Okay.
So it's
Probably
like you
as
can,
any professors go, right?
yeah. I mean, the professors in general, you don't think, oh, I'm going to listen to a genetics class and be just riveted by this guy, right? But in his case, you can get on YouTube and you can see his lectures and stuff, and you're like, this is the way that he talks about this stuff is slightly entertaining. I can get into it, right? So he's written numerous books too, and it's kind of the same way. Like the way he writes, he kind of throws a little humor in there and stuff. And there's an old joke, and it's not his joke, but he was quoting somebody else, and someone said, "Would you give your life for your brother?" or something like that, right? It's because he was talking about passing your genes on, and that's all that evolution is all about, right? It's not survival of the fittest. It's because it's not about surviving. It's about passing on genes. It's different.
Okay.
So the guy goes, "I would give my life for 2 of my brothers or 8 of my cousins." Because that's the way the math works out.
Yeah.
It's like if I procreate, it's the
Okay.
same as if 8 of my cousins procreate.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
Yeah,
So-
and so in a way,
He
he doesn't mention identical twins, but I would give my whole life for my identical twin,
right.
just in terms of genetics.
Robert Sapolsky does, though, because it was right before that he was talking about identical twins and about how, like, I'm just as interested in making sure you procreate as
Right.
in if I do. So it's like I would
Interesting.
sacrifice myself for his kids.
Or do you get behind him and push when it's time?
Yeah.
Same thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
It's not weird.
Like those kid leashes, you just pull them back every time.
Yeah, so that's why it
Spread
probably
the seed.
it probably really is. There's some weird animal thing that we can't even really explain
Right, because
that's
it's not
doing that.
yeah, it's not conscious.
No,
But there
consciously, I think he's a moron.
there was
that guy.
there was an article that or not an article. Well, I looked up an article because in that book he talked about this is kind of bothering. Oh, I don't want to get it in front of Ira's face.
Better
Oh.
mind my face.
See that? There was a genetic. Okay, he talks about a gene called the DRD4. And the DRD4 it starts to get all like in this one chapter, it was way too over my head and stuff, and it kind of got a little bit foggy eyed just listening to it. But there's a variant of DRD4 called the 7R. So it's DRD4-7R, and it's this gene, and it's
Sounds like
they
one of the Star
figure-
Wars droids.
right. They figure the curious personality of the DRD4-7R allele. Though
Now you're making words up.
right, they figure that the most of the people who ventured away from their hunter-gatherer groups and like went way up into the Alaskan Arctic, for instance, and all those areas where you think, how the fuck did people survive for hundreds of years and stuff?
Yeah.
They figure most of those people had this genetic component because they're so interested in leaving behind, like they don't care about tradition, they don't care about they have problems with authority, they want to get away from people that are like holding them down and stuff, and just go out and fucking get as far away from people as they can and do their own fucking thing and raise their own family and all that
Sounds like
shit.
you're diagnosing me.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's and they go through. He went through this list of stuff, and I don't know if I'm going to find it in this article, and I'm not going to sit here and read it.
How do you find
but
out if you have it?
I don't
Is it
know.
like
I
at
would,
23 or is that 24?
maybe
and
I would think yeah.
It's 24.
I would
They're
think
like,
that
it's
the
DRD.
23andMe thing. I thought about that too, but I haven't done it yet. But I wanted to get on my 23andMe app and see if I could search for it or something. I don't know.
Have you done the swab thing?
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We've probably talked about that before.
Yeah, we have, and it came up that because they did it to Emmett, and then it said you have a son,
That's right.
and I was like,
oh shit.
I have it. What? And Dawn's like, give me this. And then it came up with the image. She's like, okay, well, that makes sense.
That's funny. You have a
Yeah.
son out there you didn't
Yeah.
know about.
So his kid came up genetically
You're like,
as
I'm not a blues musician. How did that happen?
genetically as close to me as my own son, which is kind of wild. But anyway, he in the book he lists off
And you
this
guys said you never traded.
right this list of characteristics, and it was like, what is that when you get tired of the norm and you're looking for something new? There's a word that I'm not thinking
Don't know.
of. Anyway, get tired of shit and you want to
I
change
call that
mix,
Friday.
mix stuff up. Yeah, I know you do, Jake. problems with authority, sexual promiscuity, alcoholism, and ADHD,
Brain damage.
and all this shit. And I was like, that's me.
Holy shit.
Shit.
I was
That's
so
my
dumb
20s.
last night. I was like, that's totally me.
That's everybody on this show.
Yeah. So I thought that'd be hilarious if every one of us had that gene variant, because the way they read that list off, and I was like,
Just
yeah.
changed the name of the show to the DRD4 show.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite have a ring to it, but
No.
pretty more accurate.
Mhm.
I have no idea how reliable this source is. Speaking of stories I read, because that's what we've just devolved into. But the National File, I'm not really sure. But did you see that some student left a bunch of flyers on a printer or something in the Oklahoma City University of Law that just says it's okay to be white?
What?
Like, they just left a bit like on the printer. Like someone printed it out and typed it and left. So here's the thing though. Innocent enough, like maybe one disgruntled person, maybe somebody just lamenting and forgot they hit print on accident or something.
Right.
But they treated it like the FBI counter-terrorist unit came
Oh,
out,
fuck. Of course.
and
they
they're
did.
and the student that did it is getting expelled now from the university. The law,
Ah.
and here's the fucked up thing: it's a Oklahoma City University of Law,
Right.
so it's not like
So-
they would lean on any actual like statute of freedom of speech or something. But they're investigating it as hate speech
As if
because
it's
somebody.
anthrax or
It's
some
okay to
shit.
be
Give me
white.
a
Okay.
break.
So my take is, yes, whoever made that thing is a fucking idiot.
Of course, of course,
What are you doing?
absolutely,
But-
of course.
Of course, the authorities and powers that be or whatever went way too fucking far, of course, and now they're
Yeah.
calling that hate speech. It's like, well, that's not
It sent
right
the
either.
SWAT team in with M16s to see who printed the flyer.
So you printed a flyer, right? That's literally
It's hate speech.
it's literally freedom of speech,
Yeah.
right? Like you're printing something on a piece of paper.
I
and
mean,
getting
I
in trouble
guess
for it.
maybe if you printed it at your house, it's different. I mean, you used the school that's probably
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
probably going to get into something with
Right.
that. Like you used the
true.
city taxpayers' dollars for your hate speech toner.
yeah, I mean, he's not going to jail, right?
No,
So I guess if they're a private university, they can kick anybody out that they want.
it's
for any
funny
reason
he
they
used
want to. so-
black ink for it though.
Yeah. I know.
It is.
Use
It is
white
silly
ink
though.
on white paper.
It's
it'd be-
okay to be white. Like, I mean, first of all, that's such a weird statement.
Yeah.
Anyway, like if you're a person who has that opinion, which first of all, that's a no shit opinion. It's okay
Right.
to be anything.
Right.
That's the whole point. But for somebody who puts that up, you're obviously trying to be provocative by printing something like that out.
Mhm.
So you're an asshole for doing that. You should be able to.
Mhm.
You're still an asshole, but you should be able to do that.
Yeah,
And they
it's-
shouldn't send in the guys with the fucking rubber bullets and the shields to see who
Totally.
printed it.
That's the part of it that's so ridiculous to me. It's one thing if you were like,
I knew
okay,
you'd like
even-
that the most.
even if you're like, this guy needs to leave the university. Okay, but who called?
Expelling
Who called the cops?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like when I was in
some
college.
fucking some soft ass wilted
And not just the
snowflake in
cop,
the
like the
libraries.
SWAT team or with a anti-terror. I mean, come on.
There's so much with it. Go ahead.
When I was in college, we stole a golf cart from the security. Did I already tell this story on this? But
No,
I don't
think so.
remember. So
there
that
were
means
golf
no.
carts that the security guy or the groundskeeper people would drive all around campus all day and they do their shit, right? And so we knew where the grounds shop was, and there were all these golf carts parked out there. And my buddy, that was my roommate, played on the golf team,
Okay.
and so he had an EasyGo key,
Oh, nice.
and it's like the same key for
Yeah,
everything, right?
yeah,
So
they're
you,
all the
if
same.
you got one golf cart key, you got them all. So we ran out there and we stuck it in there and we fucking joyrided this thing all over campus. We're running over curbs and fucking like through the fields and stuff in the middle of the quad or what the fuck ever, right? And then we drove it off campus onto the lawn of our fraternity house, and a bunch of the senior guys, like some of the older guys, are like, "Oh, you fucking crazy!" We were freshmen at the time. Like,
Yeah.
like, you guys are fucking nuts, but you're awesome. Let's go. And so then they jumped into it and they took off. And the campus security guys who were chasing us, trying to find us, called the cops. The cops showed up, and then those dudes went to fucking jail.
for taking it.
Yeah, they're
Come
like, "This is
on.
theft and everything." I'm just like, so it's like you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You went way too fucking far, and now someone's going to jail because we were joyriding a golf cart.
Could have thrown the spikes test.
Really?
Spike strip out
Yeah,
or
no
something.
shit.
Is it Joyride or Joy Road or Joe
Joe
Joyrided?
I
Joyrided or
wouldn't ride
Joy?
Joe.
It's a
but
weird. It's a weird word. Is
They-
it Joy
they-
Road? We Joy Road the.
We joy rode. Yeah.
They had joy ridden.
There you go.
go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it's like, why do people have to take it that far? Nobody. You didn't need to get the cops involved. You definitely didn't need to get the cops and the FBI
No.
and their rubber bullets involved in some kid printing out
It is pretty silly.
flyers either.
Really not surprising though.
So what made you run here?
You know, I just
Who was
hadn't
chasing
I hadn't
you?
run in a while, and you got to stay in shape in this world.
Okay.
You know, I did a little. Well, it's the kids racing thing, man. It takes over. It's one of those things you
get
get
sucked in.
so easy to become obsessed with, and I just hadn't run in a while, and I'm like, man,
This
I'm
is-
gonna get soft.
You
here
run
soon.
really well though. Was it like 8 strides to my house?
It was 9. You give
Okay.
me too much.
It's not
credit.
very
Definitely
far.
not very far, huh?
No.
You get,
It's
what is
only
it, like
2
a-
miles. It's almost exactly
2
2
miles.
miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up and like, he comes in the door and the dogs get all excited and I look over, I'm like, are you wearing tights? And then I was like, oh, did you fucking run here? I'm in my robe with a cup of coffee. I'm like, way to make me feel like shit before anything happens today. Like, that's awesome.
That's
So,
the real reason. I run.
Congratulations.
The real reason I run is to make everybody around me feel horrible and make myself look
Mission accomplished, sir.
like I'm hard. So
hard.
we went out to a restaurant this week,
Great story.
and we had a
Who's this
bad
we?
experience. Me and my family. So Sarah usually takes the opportunity to
Talk to
get
the
like
manager?
a gin
Oh.
and tonic or something, right? So
I thought you meant speak with the manager and
yeah, well, no, she doesn't have that haircut,
oh, okay.
so
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not there yet.
Karen or
The
what?
Karen, yeah.
She has to get up to age 45 and get that haircut, and then it's on.
This is a meme I saw the other day, and it had the shoes, the Karen shoes, and they were like these Nikes. They're like
oh,
running shoes, but they had roses all over them.
yeah.
The Karen shoes, the Karen haircut, the Karen, like they had various things that she
Oh my
would be
dude.
wearing.
The funniest
I
one
want
was
to talk
the,
to the manager.
was the little dog. There's this
Oh, the
little,
little pocket dog.
yeah,
little
and it's
pocket
got the
dog
haircut.
that had the same haircut too.
Okay, sorry. You were at dinner.
Anyway.
So
Your wife is getting
We-
She's
shit-faced.
getting a gin and tonic.
yeah, she's getting shipped. So she orders a gin and tonic, and it doesn't come, and we're going on 10 minutes, and she's like, "So, any word on the gin and tonic?" And the server goes, "Oh yeah, you know what? They actually ran out of well gin because she just wanted a well, and the manager has to go back. Like they didn't even have a backup. You always have a
Yeah,
Yeah,
open
at
a new
least
bottle.
one
There's-
backup
Should be one sitting
right
right fucking there.
exactly. Why do you only have one? Anyway,
Or you pour some sapphire and go, hey,
Yeah.
sorry, we'll go get
There we
this
go.
one. This
Thank
one's on
you.
us.
Yeah.
thank you.
Why is that so hard?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm like. Why the
That just
fuck?
cost you an extra 10 cents.
yeah.
Literally.
It's because
Yeah.
it's not Avis. You don't get the rental car upgrade because they're out of the
That was-
compact. You
yeah.
get the
So
luxury. Come
this,
on now.
This was what I was basically screaming from the mountaintop. Anything.
I should go to dinner with you. That'd be fun.
Mhm.
It would be.
I'll just watch your family and,
And
then I'll
you just- Yeah. No, I mean any number. You've got to have just a little step up.
yeah.
Beefeater, something.
That's
just,
a bad manager right there.
yeah.
In
Or a shitty
restaurant that-
bartender who can't like make that
Yeah.
decision.
But
and
you
then
know what?
just-
If like from my theory, it would be a top-down sort
Probably.
of thing where it's like the idea that, oh no, I can't pour whatever gin in here because I'll get in trouble or
The
something like
top
that.
mop.
Like
That's,
water.
that was the sentiment
right.
that really stuck with me. It's like, why don't you don't even have, well, I'm not asking you to give this
me a
person
free
5 free
drink.
drinks
Right.
of scotch,
Yeah.
something Macallan 25 that's
Yeah.
$80 a glass. I'm asking you to make a decision,
Mhm.
to have the balls to pour
there's the problem.
to pour a liquor that's slightly more expensive, and when your liquor cost is a little bit off, you explain to your manager, you know what, I had to make a decision.
That
You're
was
out.
took care of the
I
customer.
wanted
That
the
would
customer.
never even be a conversation. That would
Yeah.
never be noticed though.
Exactly.
Even in the most stringent bar, you're not going to see.
Nah.
You're right. You don't track it that closely.
And you're
1
so
ounce.
fucking stupid to not beef up your own tip. Like, why would you? I would advertise that I did that. Hey, you know what? We're out of this, but I didn't want to make you wait. So I hit you with some Bombay fucking Sapphire. Have
Yeah.
a nice night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's an
yeah.
extra $3 coming my way. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
I know.
Yeah.
That's
It
why.
was-
Do we
That's
need
why
to
I'm
boycott?
constantly
Do
on
we
the
need to
edge
boycott
of
a
being
restaurant?
in trouble because I always do that, and I would like not even hesitate for a
Not
second.
even.
I would just do it.
Not a second. It's like
Now I'm in trouble.
It's like if I were the manager and somebody did that, I would be so pissed at them for not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, you
Yeah,
Next
exactly.
time,
Get
make it
the
just take care of the
fucking-
customer.
get
you
the
dick.
customer there. Like, have you ever
Yeah.
drank before?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
anyone who drinks would be like, you asshole.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Waited 15 minutes for my
Get them
gin and
their
tonic. That is-
fucking.
sucks. It's Friday and it's been a long week.
I
you
need
dick.
this more than I need food,
Yeah.
shelter,
Yeah.
Did you make
anything
some
else.
signs so we can go boycott?
Yeah,
That's obviously the
it's-
next move,
it,
right?
it was the Red Robin.
Oh, well, there you go.
So
Yeah,
yeah, you talk
yeah.
about
Corporate
it's like
restaurant.
Now I'm
obviously
out.
the biggest corporate
I was
restaurant
with you too. you
in
said
the
that.
area.
Dude,
Yeah.
when I used to work at Ruby Tuesday,
That's funny.
It's another good
same kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, corporate fucking stupid. I mean, it was owned by a guy that was a local guy that owned like 3 restaurants. He's a franchisee, right? But
Yeah.
still, it's like you have all this corporate standard bullshit to deal with. But for that reason, because they did measure out the booze and everything when they did their inventory and shit, like I would go back there and my manager would be like, make us a drink. And I'm like, all right. And I'd run back there and stuff. And if I poured an entire double of Captain Morgan's or an entire double of something else, you know, and handed it to him, he'd be pissed. He's like, no, fucking, you pour a half a shot of this, a quarter shot of that, so that you spread it out so that you never notice that there's a big difference. But like, there was like this technique that he had. Is like,
What
no,
a piece
fucking
of shit.
spread it out a little bit. Yeah, totally.
Or just use your employee discount and buy a drink, you cheap fuck.
Yeah,
Like what?
we would drink
No, yeah, I get it.
several drinks when we were closing, you know, and he's like counting the money and stuff and he's sipping on his drink. But yeah, it was fucking hilarious.
but that's
his
big
little
fish,
tricks.
little pond right there.
Telling you.
Jesus.
A real alcoholic would mix them all up.
Yeah.
Whiskey,
Ugh.
Yeah, who
tequila,
cares?
gin,
Yeah.
just drinking a little bit
A
of
real alcoholics behind the bar, like when someone didn't finish it.
Oh fuck yeah.
Finish in there.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That's disgusting.
Like the all sorts or whatever, like on
Yeah. Gangs of New York.
when they're
Oh
they
yeah.
got like half empty shit and they're pouring it into a barrel.
Oh god.
And then what's her name? Catfish or whatever that chick Maggie
Yeah, Maggie something.
she slams like a coin down and stuff. It's like,
And
all right, here you go.
pounds
You
it.
get 30 seconds or whatever. And she's down at the bottom of the barrel
with the
like
spigot.
sucking out of it.
That's disgusting.
Woo!
But you know, speaking of bartending, we had our company Christmas dinner last night, and somebody got a tequila sunrise, and that's a drink that doesn't get
Ah.
ordered very often.
No, it's like an Alabama slammer or something. Like
Yeah.
those.
That's
I was like,
Nobody orders those.
I was kind of impressed. Like,
Can I have a sidecar, please?
hey, do you really like that, or are you just
Yeah.
ordering it because it's unique? But I mean, I know the guy. I think he really likes it. But it was an interesting, and I don't even know. Isn't that just orange juice basically?
Tequila,
and
orange
tequila?
juice, and then on the top you float.
a little bit of the red sweet cherry
Oh,
the grenadine.
grenadine. Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's right.
Ugh.
Yeah, no thanks. If it's got grenadine in it, I don't need it. I don't need that in my
No.
life. But
That's
No,
another
it's
thing.
like
Since we're talking booze, I can't do any drinks with dairy in them. And I'm not a. It's like
no,
I'm
White Russians. White Russians. Are
no,
fucking
like
good.
to me, the idea of booze with milk makes
Yeah.
me sick.
Yeah.
It just the thought of it just ugh. And I can't do it. I've never had one. I mean,
Dawn's,
I've tasted one, but I've never been able to sit and drink a drink with milk in it because then I watch or you watch them make it with like fucking half and half.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out. I can't
Dawn
do
tells this story about her mom waking up each morning and making herself a fucking mudslide.
Yeah, I was,
Oh,
that was the
geez.
other
Starting
one.
out
that
her
came
day
to
hitting
mind.
the fucking blender, dude, and like making herself a mudslide. Oh, here we go. Let's take on the day.
it. Are you talking on vacation or just
No,
Monday through Friday?
like this is Monday through Friday.
Wow.
It's like most people, well, if it's like a Bloody Mary, maybe, but she legit has like a
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking milkshake in the morning. It's like,
That's where you
Most
don't even put
people
the blender away.
Yeah.
You just
I'm
rinse
having-
that and leave it
people
on
are
the
Thinking
counter.
it's like your blended coffee or something like that. You're like, well,
it's like,
Wow.
what do you
this
have?
is my
Yeah,
happy juice.
is that your protein shake? Nah, mudslide. Most people would be like, they'd laugh like you were joking.
That's one of those
Holy
drinks too
shit.
that like that's hard to get the actual drink amount right.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
a
she's probably a pro by now. Like she's
You
probably
make
got
enough
it
of
measured out like by weight, close her eyes and hold the, you know. But still, like that's one of those drinks that's for when you're making a group of them and you pour 3.5. You're like, hold on, I'll make another batch.
Right.
That's how those go. I don't know how you sit and just make one.
Yeah.
That's probably
It's
how
like
she justified,
Alcoholic Keurig.
how she made herself feel like she wasn't an alcoholic is that she actually put some work into it
Yeah.
instead of just
I'm not just
chugging the
drinking right
bottle.
out of the bottle here. What do you think I am, an animal?
It's a lot of work to hit frappe.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
What? Speaking of, when's the last time you had a drink? It's been a while.
3 years?
Yeah, over 3 years.
Or was it?
Over 3?
Yeah, I think it was April or
flies.
May.
And what was it? What did you
So
drink?
it's 3 years and 6 months. I mean, probably beer and vodka.
So you okay? Well, a lot of people like people that do drugs and like when they quit drugs, like I remember exactly where I was and I did.
No, you know, it's interesting because I don't remember the date. I don't remember what I had. I don't have sobriety coins. I don't go to
Right.
AA. I just sort of,
just sort of stopped drinking.
yeah. It
Good
was
for you. That's how you should do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think too. It's kind of my own deal.
That's how
and
I
it's
stopped smoking. Is like,
nobody
you
else's.
You just stop.
Yeah, and I just think it's enough people know now, and it was really a promise just between me and my wife, and it
Also, I just blew you up. Sorry.
yeah no that everyone knows now, but yeah, it's not something that I felt the need to go. I am scared to death of it at this point. I mean, because
You don't want to touch it because then you think you'll start drinking too much or something like
yeah,
that.
it's just that my life is so good in comparison that yeah, there's no way. It was like heroin users. The term chasing the dragon.
like-
Yeah.
That's all I was ever doing. It was like must get happy again. Oh,
Yeah.
it was pathetic. And that made everything else I did in my life that much worse. Nothing I ever did was of real quality.
Right.
I could never really dig into something and strive for perfection and mastery and all. It was just that put a cloud over everything. And so
Of course, I mean, I know that when I drink too much or something, wake up the next day foggy and stuff like that, it's like that entire day is fucked.
Yeah.
You can kind of
Oh, I
get through
did that.
work
You
and
can
do some
stumble
shit.
through it. Yeah.
I did
But
that
if that was
so
every day,
many, so
you
many
know?
times though, because
Yeah.
not only physically are you down, but emotionally, mentally,
Yeah.
all that. I mean, it was as close to impossible to be motivated and do something
Right.
as you can imagine. It was just, someone might be, well, just, no, it wasn't in me at all. I mean, there was I would just be like, oh,
You never would have gotten up and ran to a podcast in the dark.
definitely not. See, that's what I mean. That this whole part of my life never would have happened.
Yeah.
And this thing that I take pride in, that I enjoy, that gives me that gives me a sense of satisfaction, accomplishment, all that stuff.
Masturbating?
Mastery.
Oh,
Mastery.
I heard
you're
something
just
different.
describing how I feel after I toss a rope.
Let's
So I
see
was
that
like, all
right forearm of yours there. But where I'm assuming you're right-handed, maybe it's a southpaw.
No, it's funny. I mean, I do remember the exact last place I had a cigarette, but it was it wasn't like ruining my life or anything other than my health. But I do remember exactly but I think that's more of a chemical thing in your brain too, because you know exactly the last time you got that fix or whatever it is. But
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that
Yeah.
mine was the same thing. It was like that was like 2 years and change ago. But yeah, I remember it was right before I ran my first marathon. So that was an easy one because I was just like, "Fuck, am I
it's
doing?"
drying out to
Yeah.
run.
It's like, what am I
You
doing?
can't run and smoke. Yeah.
No.
Or run competitively and be a smoker. Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
So now it's easy. Same thing. Yeah, I just don't. Man, to get back into that, and the other thing
Do you
too.
need a ride home later? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. The
I
other
proved my point. Somebody drive me home.
The other thing is do the math. You actually very rarely see chain smoking drinkers who, have nice cars, nice houses,
Ron White.
and it's probably because the inability to delay gratification, the inability to have self-discipline and say, no, I don't care how good it feels, I'm not going to do it. That probably, that's an overarching thing in your life that obviously probably shows itself in every area, but
Yeah, I didn't
But
think of it that
also-
way.
just in the simplest way, just do the math. you know, let's say you go through a fifth of vodka every week, or maybe 2 of them a week, or a 6-pack every day.
Whoa.
A 6-pack is 7, 8.
I don't know
9
why, but that
bucks.
seemed worse to me.
What?
A 6-pack a day seemed worse in my head than a fifth of vodka a week.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it probably is more.
I mean, I
would
don't
think.
mean health wise. I just mean like I
Just
don't
sounds
know
worse
why.
in
It
your
just
head.
sounded worse.
Yeah,
A 6-pack a day. I think it's just a quantity thing. A 6-pack a day seemed worse than a fifth of vodka, or even two, maybe 2/5 is on par.
Probably,
Yeah.
But it's in my
Probably 2.
brain. It was like, oh wow, that 6-pack a day. That's a lot, man. Like, go back to the 2/5 of vodka. I don't know why.
that
weird.
is funny.
So that was basically my routine. It was more like a 6-pack of Tall Boys, every single day.
Was it at least good beer?
And
Actually, I don't think there's
No.
any good beer in Tall
Bush
Boys.
Light.
it was
Probably,
Bush Light,
right?
it was Rainier, it was Rolling Rock, it was oh man,
Ooh.
just thinking about that and
Back
seeing
to
the
sucking off the
images
bottom of that
of those,
hose.
of those cans, just God, I think back with such shame. It's like,
Shame's a
God.
good motivator, though, man.
It
Shame's a
is.
good teacher.
Yeah.
It really
And
is.
maybe
It is for
that's
me.
a great point.
I do a lot of things so that I don't feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Or I don't appear like a piece of shit and stuff.
Yeah,
When you
like
talk to
wear non-elastic waist pants out in public.
my pants are 100% elastic.
You're a skinny guy, though. You don't
No,
have
when
that shame.
I
If
think
you're a big guy and you have like any pants that are elastic and you wear them out of the house, you feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, but being skinny isn't that great either, because when you look in the mirror and you see how small your legs are, it's like, God.
not if you have that. So if you
I'm
have
talking
like
the waist,
a
the elastic
nice
waist.
pair, expensive, high quality pair of like Under Armour sweatpants that have a pocket on them and they're tapered down to the,
No,
and you have some nice
They're
shoes
still-
on,
they're
you
still
still feel
sweatpants.
like a
They're
piece
still-
of shit.
they're still sweatpants. I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. I will go like
Isn't
to
that
the
funny?
grocery
The
store
lens
around
that you
town.
see that through, and that I don't.
I'll
like, I
go to
don't
the grocery
understand
store
that.
around town. I'll go out
Oh
in
my
public
God.
if I'm,
That
I'm
reminds
doing something where
Yeah.
I can justify like I don't mean, and
You just-
I'm not even saying I'm talking when I was heavier,
Yeah.
but I'm still. I mean, I still have that fat kid built in,
I mean,
and
trust
I'm
me, I
not
don't.
his size, so
I
there's a
don't
little
make it
bit
a
of it
habit
there.
of going out in sweatpants, but I think
But yeah, if I go out in sweats, I feel like a piece of shit. Like
and then when you see people though that don't have that, there was a
Yeah.
kid 2 nights ago that was in the Safeway. This kid had a blanket.
did he live in the Ford
He,
Explorer also?
he
Oh.
was draped in a fucking blanket.
blanket.
Like he had his pajamas on and his slippers. He got out of bed, he grabbed his blanket, he draped it, and was like, all right.
How old are you saying though, kid?
I imagined him talking
How old of a kid?
19.
Oh, that's a man. That's not a kid.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were talking like
Maybe.
a 7-year-old. I was like,
high
back
school.
off, dude.
High school.
Doing
I'll
that
give him
should come with the same amount of shame as printing off.
and he had
it's okay
no
to be white
shame.
flyers.
And you go to you think you're and I
shit.
literally, dude, I
Bring
sat
out the
here
rubber
and
bullets.
thought to myself, I'm like, why do I hate that kid?
yeah.
Well,
Because-
you hate everybody, and that's why I like you.
Yeah. But it's because I think it goes back to this tribal mindset that we have, because that kid is useless.
Yeah.
If you depended on that kid to defend the fortress,
Yeah,
He would fold like a
He's
lawn
folding
chair.
Yeah,
right? So you kind of look at him and you go, God, will you get your shit
he's
together?
one step away from putting a thumb in his mouth with
Yeah,
the blanket over him.
yeah.
You're like, yeah, what the fuck are you
But
doing?
why don't you have any shame?
Yeah.
The same thing as on the beginning of Dave Chappelle's new comedy special. The whole thing was Anthony Bourdain killed himself, and his buddy
This is the best opening joke.
from
can't
the
remember-
hood,
Oh
his
my god,
buddy from the hood made it to law school on a scholarship. Dude was brilliant, and he was from the hood. I mean, nobody else was doing this, and he somehow climbed his way into law school. Met some chick, married her. She divorced him, and
took it all.
took any
mean,
bit of money that he
yeah.
had, and then he ran into him at like a couple years
Foot
ago.
Locker,
Dude's
yeah.
like at Foot Locker. He's 45 and he's looking like a referee in the Foot Locker.
Yeah, I remember this now.
You know,
That
and
was
he
good.
goes,
And
now, never did it occur to this guy to
Yeah.
kill himself.
Yeah,
He's like,
it should.
you know, that maybe that's an option there, buddy. I mean,
oh man,
you know, and it's the same thing. It's like, why does that kid in the store
Yeah.
have zero shame, and I have level 98 shame at all times, kind of just beating me into standing up straight and
3 feet
Acting
away.
right.
3 feet away though. His mom's in Crocs and a NASCAR shirt.
Yeah,
If
Definitely.
she's there or at home, she is. And-
pajama pants, Crocs,
and he's
NASCAR
picking up her
shirt.
smokes.
He's picking up her
well,
smoke.
and she probably told him how amazing he was since the day
Yeah.
he was born.
Yeah, that's
That's the Jordan Peterson
Yep.
Oedipal mother
Yep.
syndrome.
It is weird though. How come that person doesn't have shame? And it seems like the easy answer is just to say, well, because no one shamed him, and maybe that's really all it is. But I think I think it's almost, and it depends on the age window. Because when you said 19, I'm thinking, okay, that's a lazy man. Well, technically,
I'll
man.
just say high school. He might have been
But high
15 to 19. He might
High
have been
school
young.
is one of those things where now all of a sudden it's cool to be a slob a
Yeah,
little bit. Like
kinda.
you're not really relied on yet. If you have a job, it's not really to pay your bills. It's so you can have a little drinking money or whatever, so leave your
Mhm.
parents alone. So there is that. I'm not giving them a pass, but there is that weird window from 14
Yeah.
to 17 where you're like, this is I don't give a fuck, so I'm cool.
Or I know that being responsible is in my future, and I'm gonna need to be that
Yeah.
way. So for now, I'm gonna be a slacker for a while because I know I'm gonna need to. Get
And
my
I don't know
shit
what that
together.
says about me that 17 I give him a pass and 19 I
Yeah,
hate on him. But there is that weird thing where it's like, I don't know, like it's not okay. You should still have a little bit of, pride to go in public, even if you're going to the grocery store. Call me old fashioned. There's my get off my lawn moment.
Yep.
But I don't know why.
Dude, the other thing, I went to Walmart the other day, and it was so funny because me and Sarah said to the kids, we're like, okay, now we're going to Walmart. So you be
Prepare
careful.
yourselves.
This is the
Just
drag.
get your phone out and hit live stream and walk in.
Yeah.
This is the lowest of the low. Because mommy bought something online from Walmart.com or whatever, and we had to return it at the
Nice.
store. And I was like, thanks a lot. You did this to us.
You
Now
can't
we
just
have to
send it
bring it-
back.
We should have well, they were big items, and
Yeah, you get free
I
shipping
didn't-
to you, but you pay shipping.
No,
going
I don't
back.
even know.
Dude,
I
I
don't-
had to do that recently.
I don't
Yeah.
know how it works. Actually, she might have gone and gotten them. What do I know? But anyway, in any case, we had to bring them back. So, but
It is weird how you psych
It's
yourself
not
out
just-
to walk into a Walmart though.
yeah,
It's
we're like
you
watch
kinda
out.
Like,
If you're ever
All
gonna
right.
get
Yeah.
you're ever gonna get kidnapped, it's gonna be in here.
Yeah.
So you kids stay close. So, but I ran into the typical Walmart. So Walmart lady. So this lady is significantly overweight.
Was she driving
Well,
one
you
of the
said-
motorized carts?
you
no.
said Walmart. I would have done that math already.
Yeah. She was
Speaking of elastic waist pants,
she looked miserable. Now, of course, she was hideously ugly.
again, you said Walmart. I'm with you.
None
Just
of
get
this
to the
is
point of the story.
right. But the thing that was fascinating to me is she was with this man that was much smaller than her.
Again, you
And
said
very-
Walmart,
Yeah.
and he was wearing a U.S.
Damn it.
Navy hat. Is the next thing, and a wife beater with some chew stains on it. Right? Am I getting
you
you to
go.
the point?
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
had thick glasses and
And they
tiny
drove
eyes.
a fucking Dodge
Yeah.
Neon.
He was like that
Yeah.
Muppet. You know the Muppet with the green head and the glasses, but there's no eyes behind it.
Right.
You
no,
remember that Muppet? And he's with the little guy
Yeah,
Beaker.
Beaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Beaker is shaped like a beaker,
Right.
and all he has, he's huge. Yeah,
You
he
know,
goes,
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
I don't
come
know.
What
on,
is his
Jake.
name? That professor guy or whatever he is.
yeah. I don't know. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm not trying to be cool. I don't remember those
That's what-
specific Muppets. I'm sorry.
that's what this guy
I don't
looked
have
like
the trading cards.
because he
I
has
can't believe you don't know. who we're
thick
talking about.
Coke bottle glasses and his eyes
His
are
eyes are so
tiny,
small. You can. Yeah.
and he's got
Ooh.
this scraggly mustache, and everything that
I
this
was a
guy
Fraggle
does.
Rock guy.
Well,
Yeah, that's
so who
another good one
wasn't?
though. That anything Jim Henson did was pretty genius, but everything that this poor bastard did, that horrible woman would just berate him, and I'm standing here like,
Really?
yeah, I'm like,
He's
We
used to that
can
though
all-
because he's little.
we can all hear
Okay,
you.
I
guys
got
not-
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember now.
There it is. So,
Bunsen
so the
Honeydew.
Muppets. Yeah, Bunsen. You have to
Oh,
tell the
Bunsen
people.
Honeydew and Beaker.
Bunsen Honeydew and
It's
Beaker.
I remember Beaker a lot more, but
Yeah.
I do
He's
remember
memorable
that-
because
I
it's just
remember the
hilarious the
character.
way he talks.
Yeah.
My kids, I made them watch.
Remember those two aliens
the-
with the mouths that would mop,
The
mop,
camera-
mop?
the
Yeah,
camera-
Those
that was
used, they
Sesame
used to give me
Street.
nightmares.
Yeah,
They like
Those things were-
legit give me hallucinogenic nightmares when I was a kid.
they were kind of creepy
yeah, it was
though.
weird.
Which ones?
Those two alien things on Sesame Street.
were like,
Oh,
"Nom,
yeah,
nom, nom,
nom,
nom,
yeah.
nom, nom,
Yeah.
yip,
I
yip,
don't-
yip,
I
yip,
don't
yip,
know
yip,
why
yip, 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 nom,
They-
nom,
you're
nom,
triggering
nom,
me
nom,
right now.
nom, nom.
No, seriously, when I was a kid, those things would not like
and they're,
I would
their
have
mouths,
I would have dreams about them and wake up like
their
in a
mouths
panic
would
attack from
kinda-
those things.
yeah.
Fucking weird.
The mouths would go
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really
like
weird.
a cow chewing its
Yeah,
cud
yeah.
only really fast.
It's really and those weren't on a lot. It wasn't like a recurring character that was on. I mean,
No,
they
yeah.
were there, but it wasn't
I
like
wanna
Grover
say-
or something else.
No, they were only on maybe 1 or 2 episodes.
it
I had
wasn't
to-
very much.
I searched it on YouTube to try to find him because I was trying to tell Dawn or something. She didn't remember, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And it was tough to find him.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
And
And
it
it
was
wasn't
kinda
exactly
like-
the way I remembered it either. Like they said different things. And
I went through a really weird patch like in puberty, and I don't know if it was my brain chemistry changing or what, but I would have like hallucinations.
What did the patch look like?
Yeah, no, I really did. My mom sent me to a shrink when I was well, if we're gonna get deep, let's get deep.
Uh-huh.
She sent me to a shrink when I was in 10, 11, 12 ish. And my parents were still going to church and stuff. And so they sent me to a guy that was kind of affiliated with the church, but he was a legit psychologist or
Yeah.
whatever, the non-drug kind.
psychiatrist or psychologist?
And probably psychiatrist, I think.
The non-drug one is psychologist.
Okay, then that one.
Right.
And his office was near a bowling alley. It wasn't a Sandusky thing. I know you're heading there. But I would go to his
Bowling
office.
alley and a candy store.
I'd go to his office, and it was within walking distance. We'd walk over and play a little bit of bowling and stuff. But he would talk to me about this, and I remember. I don't remember the period of time that I went, but I was having like hallucinations where it was spatial stuff. And now, getting older and learning about LLI, I honestly think it was kind of that developing, or going from being a kid to. I'm not really sure how else to explain it, but
Yeah.
I would have these hallucinations where if my eyes are open and I'm in, normal time and space, whatever, if I would kind of close my eyes, I would lose depth and time and space, and it would freak me out to where I would feel really tiny, and then I can't recreate it, so I'll
Yeah,
stop. But it was
okay.
just this really weird hallucinogenic time and space thing.
Trippy.
And those fucking characters, I would wake up having nightmares about those, and it was this weird kind of surround thing. And since they weren't on very much, there wasn't really any like expose yourself to your trauma and get over it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then I obviously stopped watching Sesame Street when I was like 17. But as an adult, I saw like they used them for a TV commercial or something. I had this weird like triggered flashback because I didn't see them
Relapse
for
kinda,
so
yeah.
long, and it didn't freak me out. But I had this thing that reminded me that they used to freak me out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've never had that really as an adult, that same spatial thing. So it was definitely a developmental period.
Yeah.
But those fucking alien things freaked me out. And just when you said that, you triggered me on the whole Beaker thing. But anyway, so talk about your Walmart story. Go back to the.
Well, it was just
Navy
fascinating.
wife.
It was fascinating.
Because the woman was berating the guy,
yeah, she
and
was.
he was just taking it as like a whipping
Oh,
boy and not
oh,
like,
yeah.
speaking up. Or
he
anything.
didn't
Yeah.
say a word.
Dude, that's rough.
and
I've seen
she-
that sort of thing before.
big guys don't take that.
No,
That's
Yeah.
a little guy thing.
It,
well,
If it's a big guy, they just end up killing the wife.
maybe there's an element of it that he likes, right?
that's
Like,
his
That's
comfort.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's probably his
They like
comfort
that.
zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was.
it almost
God,
turns him on.
It's a weird. It's not even a stereotype.
weird
It's a
kink.
very. It's a very common thing. Notice how I knew who it was before you described it.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
What color was his jacket?
It had a bunch of patches on it, so it wasn't actually
didn't have
color.
didn't actually have patches.
USS something.
Well, it was
What's
brown.
with you in the Navy?
Little. I don't know why. Little, small, skinny Navy guys always have big, fat wives. It's a thing. I'm telling you, it's a thing.
They got too many skinny Asian chicks in the
And
Navy.
because
they-
military
they've
people
had
don't
their
get paid
fill of
much,
that.
they all shop at Walmart. So it's not a hard leap to make.
True.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
No, so everything that he was wearing was the best way to describe it would be earth tones. Nothing that stood out, nothing that
Except
really
the Dale
conveyed
Jr.
any
hat.
confidence. Yeah.
Number 3 tattoo he had on him somewhere.
But it made me think.
His favorite color was light.
I
tan.
love the Intimidator.
Yeah.
The opposite of me.
The Dodge
I've
Neon
never
has the
intimidated
Intimidator
anything.
sticker, the
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt license plate frame.
He could
Remember
walk
that
up.
Dodge minivan, or maybe no? So you guys didn't live in West Seattle. Every single day I was coming to work or driving Taylor to school and everything. When I was living in West Seattle, there was a guy that had a red Dodge minivan with a huge 3 on it and had the good wrench and stuff, stickers all over it. Like it was.
There's a Chevy
Legit.
Impala. You remember like the 2000s Chevy Impalas?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
one
the
around
big
town.
boat
Have you seen the one
ones.
around Enumclaw with the Van Halen shit all over it?
No.
God,
There,
that's
you know the Van Halen like
awesome.
5150 with the black and red like shatter.
Oh yeah.
Eddie Van Halen had that on his guitar. Somebody won this thing in a contest, and they're still driving it proudly around Enumclaw, and like the license plate is VH Fan 1 or some shit.
I love it.
There is it's always parked at the Chinese place, but there is this old ass 20-year-old Impala rolling around town with the Van Halen
That's
shit
fucking
on it.
Sweet. This guy driving this minivan though was fucking flying too everywhere he went. It was hilarious. We going down the highway, and I'm going like 10 over the speed limit, and he's like, just fucking put it in there.
Vicariously.
It's so
Fucking
there-
rolling.
That made
again.
me think of Zombieland
again.
with the 3 on the side of the.
No
I haven't seen
shame.
Zombieland.
Really?
I know, and I have it too because I somehow
You got to
like
see
the
it for
first
the second
motorhome
one
that we
comes
bought.
out.
It was still in the DVD player. It's like they forgot about
That's
it.
a really
Oh,
Zombieland's a good movie. But Woody
I know.
Harrelson's character, they're the last people on Earth. So every
Right,
car he
right.
gets, he paints a number 3 on it.
That's awesome.
So back
Yeah,
to your,
no-
we keep shit on your story.
No, that's
No,
okay.
I think he's
that was
That was
pretty
it,
much done.
right?
But I just thought, what creates a person like this woman? That was the guy. It was like, fuck, I don't know. He was less interesting to me. It was just, I didn't understand how
Welfare.
she could be that
Welfare creates a woman
that
like that.
hateful, like that much disdain for somebody that she was obviously with to some degree. I mean, fuck, for all I know, it could have been her little brother, but they were probably a couple, and it was just the absolute misery that just
yeah
wafted
And
off
she's
of
just
them.
piling on. Yeah,
That's a
like-
person that hates themselves though, and just takes it out on everybody else.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is
Yeah.
like, what created her? Like, what did she go
Welfare,
through?
food
Holy
stamps,
shit.
and Jerry Springer, most likely.
Well,
Yeah,
she
but-
probably had a horrible cunt of a mother that beat her and shit. You know,
Yeah.
no, there's lots of shitty
Oh,
things
there's
that can
all-
happen
yeah.
to people that.
Yeah, God only knows. But in regards to your story about the guy with the car, that's again, that guy had no shame. He's driving a minivan, and he's so fucking proud of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when I had a '92 Camry at one point, and I worked in a restaurant. This other,
Those
employee,
are the, those are the
wasn't-
round ones, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I
Yeah,
I
'cause
wasn't
I had
making a lot
an
of money.
88 and it was
obviously.
more boxy.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
it was
This
the
was like
boxier.
the next.
It was the next gen.
Yeah.
It was the
Okay.
second gen.
Camry?
Well, no, Camrys have been around for fuck. It's so funny
Yeah.
to see.
I had a
an old Camry.
97 and it was the real sharp edges again. So I
Really?
yeah. Anyway,
I kind of want to get a tattoo of an 88 Toyota Camry. I think it'd be hilarious,
That
You
would
should.
be.
right? Just kind of an ironic tattoo. Like most people get really cool cars. Back, no, this is just my first car, and it's an 88.
and
Camry.
get it like in a
Stupid.
visible
One of the
spot.
stupidest looking cars, just like right here on my arm.
Yeah, people take their tattoos way too seriously.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
So there was a guy that worked with me. He's like, "Oh, you have a '92 Camry?" The first person to ever be excited about my fucking car. I was like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "Oh my
Yes.
god, I have ground effects,
Oh god.
turbo,
in his storage?
wheels and tires." Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah,
no, but
where
I
are
mean
you-
like he hung on to it.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm like, why do you
All
have this stuff?
for a
And
Camry.
and
Oh,
he's
is
like,
this
"Oh man, you could
pre-eBay?
make that car really fast." And I'm like, first of all, why do you have that shit? Second of all,
Get away from me.
hell no.
Yeah.
I was
Let me draw
Flabber-
attention to my 92 Camry.
flabbergasted. I'm like, I couldn't believe that somebody actually did
Oh
that.
man.
It's like, dude, just
He probably has a TRD sticker too to put in the window.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The Toyota Racing
For
Development.
sure.
just take the exact same amount of money that you spent on that and buy a BMW.
Yeah.
It's still a Camry. I
Yeah.
don't care what you do to it.
I mean, some
Yeah.
people are fine with that. I
no,
guess.
no shame. People with no
Yes.
shame are fine.
You know,
with that.
back to
Yeah.
speaking of Walmart, it's a weird thought that depending on what state and where the Walmart is located is how you kind of tell the clientele who are in it. I guess that goes with any store,
Sure.
but you go to some places in the country and Walmart's the only option. And there's a bunch of people like quote unquote normal-ish people in there. But then you go to a Walmart where there's a lot of other options and you get the bottom of the barrel people
Yeah, that's
at a
interesting.
Walmart.
Yeah, you're probably
If there's a Target, your Walmart clientele is worse.
I was just about to say that if there's a Target right next door, it's like, oh, you can guarantee that Walmart is.
It's really interesting though.
They're
Like
getting the
it's like
low-
grocery outlet. It's the same idea. Like
my
if
God.
grocery outlet's your only grocery store, everybody shops there.
Yeah.
If grocery outlet is next to a Safeway or QFC or any other major chain grocery store, it's like the people that are looking for shit that was almost expired on a deal.
totally.
It's really
I
weird.
was shocked by that too. Grocery outlet makes Trader Joe's look like
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Is it horrible?
Grocery
Yeah.
outlet's horrible.
It's really bad. It's like the Walmart of grocery stores, and Walmart
Yeah.
has groceries.
For God's, if you happen to shop at grocery outlet, don't ever go in the back of that fucking store for sure. I went in the
Don't
back
ever
of
buy
one,
produce from there.
and it was dude, it was so god awful dirty. It blew my mind. I'm thinking, yeah, you have produce in this store. In the back of your store looks like this.
potato chips and cooking utensils is about the only thing I would safely
Yeah.
buy there.
Yeah.
Or canned chili because that's about the same
Cans
everywhere.
of food. Yeah.
It's depressing. And
My mom came up here from California, and she lives in a pretty bougie part of Southern California. She came up here and she's like excited there was a grocery outlet, and I'm like, what in the fuck is wrong with you?
It's not
And
the
she's
same
like,
as where you're from, Mom.
Exactly. She's like, oh, we have one back there, and I was like, yeah, it's like when Goodwill was doing that glitter sale thing here, and they put all the nice shit in one store. I don't know if you, anyway,
No.
I'll get back to that. But this grocery outlet had like all new stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's like North Korea where they put all the shit on the shelves to make it look good. And behind the scenes, it's like,
Yeah, empty shelves.
yeah, exactly.
Oh
Like
my
she
God.
was excited there was a grocery outlet. I was like, I've been in a grocery outlet twice and I will never go back. She's like, are you serious? That not a chance. But
Why
she was
did
all
you-
excited about it.
why did you
Yeah.
go the second time? Didn't you? learn the
I just
first
had
time?
I'm a two-time kind
Yeah.
of thing.
The-
you know?
the
You
orange-
gave it
the
another
I have to do
chance.
it.
That's
I have to
nice
do
of
it
you.
twice.
Yeah, that's nice.
The
of you.
grocery outlet in Irvine is a little different than
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No, it's been in you see. I met the owner. As a matter of fact, I've been in the same one because we have the service contract there. So we go there and we fix their.
Where's this
Stuff.
one at?
It's in Kenmore.
I'm surprised. Most of the time they go super cheap.
Yeah.
Service company.
Well, you know,
same
it's
thing.
because it's not.
It's a franchisee.
It's,
yeah.
Well,
the guy in
it's their
Lacey was
property. So they're
Oh,
they're
the
in a
property
strip mall, so there's
manager. Right,
nothing.
right,
it's
right.
not up to them.
the guy that owned the grocery outlet in Lacey was a single. Yeah, like that's the only thing he owned. That was his business. He owned a franchise and stuff. He
Yeah,
was a good
well,
dude.
Was he? Well, so the owners are always there.
Yeah.
The one in Kenmore is just this lady, this older lady, and
Mhm.
she's there every day.
Yeah.
And she looks like, nothing personal lady, but
like the lady at Walmart.
she looks like she doesn't have a whole. No, not that bad.
She's not rich.
She's not rich at
Right,
all.
right.
I mean, not even close. And so you're just thinking like, oh, this is not really surprising, but anyway,
Yeah.
You're like, that's a franchise that I'm not interested in. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That is a weird business though. And it's funny, like sitting here, we're pretty shitty for this because you think of other countries that don't have enough food that would kill to go to a grocery outlet.
I know.
And we're like
We're
food
turning our-
shaming, like that's disgusting. I would
Looking
never.
down our noses at the grocery outlet with all its food.
That's a good point.
It is like the source of diabetes, though. All that salty shit, canned food in there. That's the other thing too. Is the cheaper the food is, the more unhealthy it is for you.
Yeah.
And
So
we don't have to get into that because that's
No.
a whole other discussion. And most
that was
people
another
know
thing
about,
that Robert Sapolsky was talking about in his book, and that it's like the likelihood that you're going to be unhealthy if you're poor.
it's
and
almost it's
and
almost
it's not-
guaranteed.
It's not poor like objectively poor. It's like poor in comparison.
Yeah, like
to your
below the
neighbors.
poverty. Yeah, or yeah.
So it's like if you're poor, like if you're just poor because you live in India, it's like, well, that's not necessarily determinant of you being unhealthy. But if you're the poorest 10% of people in India, or you're the
Mhm.
poorest 10% of people in the US, or whatever you are, in comparison, you're a hell of a lot more unhealthy. And it's so funny because he named off all these things that didn't contribute to it that you think would. It's like access to healthcare. It's like, nope, they have every bit of access
Yeah.
to healthcare as
Yeah.
anybody else. still fucking unhealthy. And it's just something about the mindset that you're in when you realize I'm way less better off than my neighbors are, and it fucking makes you unhealthy. Like, it's bizarre.
That's wild.
It is like an anti-placebo effect kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
That's
like an
probably
opposite,
why
yeah.
it's so.
But also, cheap food is really
pervasive.
shitty for you. So when
yeah,
you,
yeah. I
when
mean,
you're
that's
that
got to
poor
be part of it.
and you
right?
buy cheap food because that it's the most processed stuff that lasts the longest
There's
on the
probably
shelf.
done.
And
There's so many
Top ramen
reasons.
and-
I was gonna say ramen's
Nally
one of the
chili.
yeah.
There's probably so many reasons though, and one of them is like
I
I was
like it,
talking
though.
about
No,
it
me
at
too.
the beginning of the podcast, where your attitude, your inability to defer gratification, your
Right.
inability to have self-discipline, that might lead to it also, because you can't say no to the very calorie-rich foods. You can't say no to smoking cigarettes or drinking or any of that. You also can't say no to spending your money right away. So you're not going to save. You're not going to make good decisions with money, blah, blah, blah. So that probably leads to it also. But
Delayed gratification is a huge one. That encompasses so much.
Talking
Yeah.
about
Think about it.
Sting and his sex life.
delayed
Sting in his sex life?
gratification. I see what you did there.
You like that?
Yeah.
You're aware of what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sting,
No.
the musician.
He
guy from
claimed
the
Did he,
police?
did he have sex for years and never come or
He's
something?
he's like a really big proponent of tantric sex. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
To where he'll like do it for hours and hours and then not nut and then come back the next. I don't know all the details of it, but he's like the poster boy for tantric sex. So sorry, it was an easy
Good for you, buddy.
cheap joke.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, that's like got to be somewhere near the top of the list, right? If you're willing to do that.
that's a rich guy thing.
Yeah.
That's a like
Yeah.
I'm bored and I
I can
need.
delay gratification
Yeah.
even and
Well, and the fascinating thing about that though is he claims that he can then be in a state of orgasm, something that is
for a long
for most of us, it's fleeting, buddy. It's 3 seconds of the
Yeah.
real good part. He says he just stretches that out somehow, which
I mean, maybe there's something to it, but
that's tempting. But,
Sounds
uh,
again,
intriguing.
rich
Yeah.
guy
Well,
problem.
to be able, I guess it's like to be able
I don't
to
have
get,
5 hours to lay around and bang my
Yeah.
wife.
That's tough. On the weekends, you can stop being
Maybe.
a quitter.
That's
Stop
true.
being a quitter.
You got to
were we
be.
saying
Something about
about-
those kids getting
I
in the
need a
way.
can
Delayed
do.
gratification.
I
No, sorry, you were talking about.
need
how
a
that's
can-do attitude out
Yeah,
of you.
just lock the door to the bedroom and tell the kids, go away. They're like banging on the door. We're hungry.
Oh my God, we did that.
slide a tablet under the door.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Sorry about the way too personal look into my life, but in this way, I have no shame, which is weird. The
Yeah,
other
I
day,
know.
the kids were awake and everything, and
Oh, I've done this before. Yeah.
we
you
just went
obviously
into the
lock
bathroom
door
and got in the shower.
Yeah.
and the kids were all
I've-
banging. What are you doing?
Yeah,
in
I've
there?
been there.
And we're like, leave us alone, you little brat.
Nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
Go play
finally-
with an electronic device and leave us alone.
Yeah.
You can get away with that for like 2 more years.
Yeah. Oh,
maybe.
Well, not even. I mean, Lyndon.
With Lyndon, you can't.
she already knew.
Lyndon's getting old enough.
Yeah, we can't. We come out all red faced and freaking
The shower was really hot.
as if we. Yeah, and she's like, "You guys were making out in there." We're like,
Yeah.
"Ah, you caught us."
Yeah,
making
got it.
out.
Move on.
That's,
That's interesting though that you shower together with the kids awake and they know what's you don't mind that. I mean, they're gonna figure that part out.
You know,
Plus, when they get old and find this podcast,
when my wife makes that,
Knowing that
Call
your
and
parents
says, "Let's
are
do
in the
this."
shower together aren't.
I don't say no.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
true.
We don't have a lot of shame when it comes to that stuff either. It's like I don't care if the kids know that we were in the shower together. They'll figure that shit out later, like when
Yeah.
they're in their
They'll be like,
20s and they
"Oh my
remember. They're like,
God."
"You
They'll
guys
be-
used to fuck in the shower, didn't you?"
that's when they'll
You know,
be.
that'll
horrible.
be that'll
It's
be
the only
funny.
place we could be alone.
That'll be
they'll-
funny when
they'll
you're
wake
sitting up
up in a-
making a toast at one of your kids' weddings or something, and they bring it up or
They'll wake up in a cold sweat and go, "Oh my
Yeah.
God!"
yeah, they'll figure
The
it
whole
out.
time they were.
The first time
boning.
they have sex in a shower, they'd be like, "Holy
Oh
shit!"
no, yeah.
they will have repressed that memory
Boner.
until then.
Boner goes away. Fuck.
That's only good for a couple minutes too.
So yeah,
It's more work than it's worth most of
Yeah.
the time. Like
It
you got to
is.
be at you got to be like, all right, this is my only option.
There's
Gotta
one good
be a
thing about
quickie.
well, there's the one good thing about it is that you know for a fact everything is clean, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
I mean, you're all
Yeah.
you're all clean. You know you're not gonna no one is sweaty.
What kind of
Nobody has dingleberries on their a-hole.
say what
No.
kind of butthole licking stuff you like doing?
Well,
Jesus.
That's 2019, Jake.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
fair enough.
Yeah, everyone's
So-
doing it.
Yeah, that's the one good thing. But yeah, it is massively it's not
It's
not
just it's
comfortable.
work.
But It is
it's
work. That's why I think the move to do, if you have the ability to, when you renovate your bathroom, or you buy a nice house, you get the huge ass shower.
Yeah.
With the big
with
one
benches
with the,
and
yeah, that's the route
with
to go.
6 shower heads and all
Chains.
that.
Because you
Sex swing.
the kids.
yeah.
Speaking
What's
to the
this
kids,
for?
yeah, they
You're telling the architect, no. So here's what I want.
Yeah.
no, it's like on
But a
next.
big ass
gives you
hook
that,
that needs
like-
to be able to hold 200 pounds.
He gives you that wink, like, all right.
It's like on next Friday where Mike Epps, I forget his.
Oh, and his dad is having
His
freaky
dad-
sex with his.
well,
new
his dad
stepmom all
just
the
his
time.
entire bedroom. It's
Yeah.
his stepmom. His entire bedroom is just like a sex dungeon,
Yeah.
and he just. doesn't
Oh yeah,
give
the
a fuck.
stepmom.
I
Yeah,
live in Rancho Cucamonga.
You know,
Yeah.
it is. Obviously, I've thought about we've talked about building houses and stuff, and I have this idea for a custom shower, and it's not sex related, but since we're talking, I'm never going to get a chance to bring this up. But the idea of a shower that's a spiral, like where you walk in almost like on a wheelchair ramp, where it's a bit of a spiral. So as you come down and you turn the corner to where the privacy would be, and it kind of opens up, almost like the yin yang
Ah.
symbol. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To where you come around the inside, and then you could have shower heads in a half circle to hit 180 degrees.
like a vestibule.
Sure.
I think that's what they call that.
I don't know. But that way, when you're done with the shower, there's no shower doors to clean. Because one of my biggest things is awesome about having a shower. They end up most of the time in houses like this, like mine, they have the glass
Yeah.
and then you got to get a squeegee and squeegee that shit every time you get out, or you get water spot. It's a pain in the ass.
I
I
have
know
a
first
friend-
world problems, but I'm thinking of
Totally.
like a tile spiral that kind of walks down.
Yeah, I have a friend that has a shower so big that it's real long and it's all tile and there's just no door
Yeah.
because it's like the water doesn't go that far. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So there's literally no glass or
Yeah.
anything. To
That's
clean.
kind of
It's
what I'm
fucking
talking
awesome.
about, but in a spiral, so that if
that'd
someone,
be cool to have it.
Yeah.
Curved somehow.
then you could, not that you need to hide anything in the shower from your wife or whatever, but if you're in there, there's still a bit of privacy
Right.
where,
Yeah,
you can
I like
wank
it.
it in peace.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
well, you still might look a little, when you really when you clean your beehole, you really got to get in there, you
Yeah.
know, and you're just going to town. You don't really want your wife to watch you just shoving your hand violently back and forth
Towards your-
between your butt cheeks. And then, well,
you're really into
obviously
getting your ass
then-
clean.
Well,
Yeah.
It's 2019, Jake.
Don't you just take the hand?
Oh, yeah.
Just take the shower head, and I mean that seems a lot easier than
I thought you meant the
like
oh
burning
my
off
God.
your cuticles.
So the
Jesus,
so the
I thought you were talking about the loofah. Take the wife's loofah and just
scrub your asshole till it bleeds.
you're just
I'm clean.
yeah. And then you see her and she's showering
she's
next. like,
fucking washing her.
Little chunks of skin on her face.
Jokes on you.
You don't say anything. You just
And my
giggle
taint.
inside.
My
Yeah.
taint is on you.
Deep down
Taint is on your
inside.
face.
Oh,
No, jokes on you
shit.
now.
I thought you were talking about the hand. The dildo. The
Oh
dildo
yeah.
that's shaped like this.
Oh, jeez. Speaking of 2019, that is not a 1982 dildo.
No.
That is a
We're
2019
coming up.
dildo.
What are the things like 20 years from now, 30 years from now
That are going to
they're be
horrify
doing?
us.
Yeah, because it's like you were making the joke, right? Everyone's talking about eating ass. It's like this is a normal thing now.
Yeah.
It's like where do you go from there? It's like that's pretty much
It's gonna have to go back
Dirtiest,
to like
nastiest thing you can do.
like shameful half-clothed sex to be like it's gonna have to go come all the way
Yeah,
back
maybe.
around. Anything sexual in the shower is hard, and like even beating off in the shower is not very fun. Not since you were a kid and you could be quick about it. As a grown up, you're like, this is too much work.
You have to get there's special lube that you can buy.
For the
It's
shower.
waterproof.
Yes.
I mean, isn't all lube waterproof?
No, it is not.
No?
I don't know.
Okay,
So it's water based, right? So it'll
I guess
Not this stuff. It's latex based.
this is the stuff that fucks up
Ah.
your plumbing.
yeah, no shit.
I know, probably does.
Yeah.
It's like that. I guess we could maybe end with this or wrap this up. There was that story right after Thanksgiving. There was some housing development on the East Coast that enough people dumped grease down the sink that it backed up in the street, and everybody's basement's all flooded with shit like sewer water. It all backed up, and they found that it was enough people after Thanksgiving dumped grease down the sink.
Oh my. That triggers the
Why-
shit out of me.
Why would you
Oh,
do
if I
that?
saw somebody doing that. Yeah.
I will use
Can you imagine if your house
half.
filled up with shit because someone down the street did that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god!
Like you. fucking
After I've
animals.
worked so hard to make sure that doesn't happen, yeah, I use half a roll of paper towels to wipe my pans out. To make
Mhm.
absolutely, you can look in my garbage can. There's just paper
yeah.
towels, just because
I won't-
I'm
yeah.
so scared of
No, I
that
won't do it.
happening.
If I have a lot of it, I'll sometimes go dump it in the flower bed.
I will find
Yeah.
a pan. I will find a pan in the sink every now and then, and it will have been like bacon grease or something.
It's got the like white
And I'll
hardened lip
see,
on it.
yeah, the hard grit, and I'll go like, honey,
Who fucking did this?
did you? Yeah, oh yeah. I'll be like, oh my god. I mean, that's kind of like the one thing.
She's like, "Are you drinking again?"
Yeah, I'm like, please don't do that. Holy shit.
So did she ever get her gin and tonic?
She finally did.
Was it?
And how we got back at the restaurant was we ordered 17 refills of fries.
there you go.
Sat there for an extra hour and just
You're
I
not
got
gonna
to
turn
where
this table.
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I was, I mean,
You're gonna lose money on potatoes.
I was 1 or 2 French fries away from
From
throwing up.
vindication. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you meant from feeling justified.
No,
No.
from Horkin.
Yeah, I did everything I could.
That's why you ran over here. You ran off all those French fries.
I gotta run off the French fries. Okay,
Yeah, that's a good place to leave it
let them
Run off
off,
French
people.
for now. Iris got to run home.
Yep.
In 4 minutes.
I don't know. I got that box of stuff for you in
That's
my
true.
truck, so you just ride with me.
That's a really good excuse to not run
There
home.
you go.
Oh, I got to take some stuff home.
It's
Mhm.
raining outside.
All right, folks. Have a good one. See you next week.
Bye bye.
Good show, fellas. Good show. Yeah, Jake has to bounce. Oh, it's 8:23. Look at that.
Oh, you gotta go. You go get
Gotta
that
go to-
van and shit.
Yeah. Which guy was it? Was it the older dude?